welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host, broadcasting to you live from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM iHeart Radio, or I should say iHeart Media Studios. And I'm joined with Todd Johnson, CEO, HealthLoop, healthloop.com, changing the way doctors and patients relate to each other after the visit. And, I got to applaud you. This is a pretty good idea. You can download it on your app. And having gone through a few things recently, Todd, broke my leg. I watched my wife die of cancer. And, this hits home with me because you're right. Once you leave the doctor's office, you are left to your own devices. Unless you have unless they really care about you as a friend, take 2 aspirin. I'll call me in a month.
That's right.
So you fixed that. I want to applaud you. Let's drill down into the investment side of your business. You've got a top-notch team. If you could, give us the top-notch team, and then let's get into the milestones and the look ahead for your company, for HealthLoop.
Yeah, I think this team was attracted around the founder of the business, who's a national leader in the transformation of healthcare delivery, Dr. Jordan Schlane. And because of that, I think the managers of this company, we've all done it before. We've been at successful healthcare startups that have done really, really well, and we're attracted to this vision and are passionate about making this work. And we find ourselves at the right place at the right time. I think there is so much going on in digital health right now. In fact, year to date, venture investment in digital health has exceeded now $3 billion. As compared to $2 billion in calendar year 2013, and there have been 20 deals so far, or in Q3 alone. So we're just seeing an absolute explosion in investment in this category, and it's because we've got this perfect storm of regulatory shifts and really a breaking system that has to be disrupted. It has to be changed. And the product category, we really fit into what is called patient engagement, which is a market that's expected to reach $3.7 billion by 2019. And so we're just seeing enormous growth. Investors, both large and small, know it's really time to reimagine healthcare. And it's not really about if these things are going to happen, but how fast and who are going to be the leaders, right? And so I think we've seen, 2013 was sort of the year where ideas came to the surface. And 2014 is where we're starting to see major healthcare players place bets. And 2015, I think, is the year where we really start to impact massive amount of lives out there, and patients really get to see the benefit. And so I think to help drive that demand forward, patients out there, if you've got surgery or a loved one that's got surgery, you need to talk to your doctor about these things. There's innovations that can help elevate the type of care you receive from your doctor. And, I can empathize, Michael. A family member of mine was just recently diagnosed with cancer. And he's faced with, for the first time, gosh, what does this mean? And so patients should demand more from the healthcare system. We deserve more. And I think on the flip side to that is if you're a doctor out there and you want to show everyone that you're an innovator, the time to move is now. And there are things happening in Silicon Valley and around the country that are just amazing. And we have an opportunity right now to change the way medicine works for the better.
Is there anybody else doing this?
Yeah, so I think we're starting to see all sorts of great ideas out there that are similar to HealthLoop. So companies that maybe help patients get through childbirth and delivery or diabetic management. So we're starting to see all sorts of wonderful ideas that are emerging to the surface. I think HealthLoop is fortunate that this company was founded a number of years ago, and we've gotten our feet through the fire and really figured out that it turns out that patients desperately want to engage with their doctors and their health systems when they're scared or injured or sick. Really, the hard part to this is how do you make it work for doctors? And doctors are so busy, and their teams are so busy. And as cynical as it sounds, the last thing any doctor wants to do is hear from every patient every day. So there's real alchemy in really practicing what we call exception-based medicine. Right? Having, hundreds or thousands of your patients having this high-touch, impressive experience and checking in with you every day, but really focusing the energy on who are the few patients that really need my attention now. And it turns out that that's really hard to do, and I think we've done a really wonderful job of cracking the code there and getting both patient engagement and physician engagement.
I can see that you have. What about the plans forward? I mean, this is definitely an English-speaking thing, but this is a universal product here. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I think we sort of view the world as, in order for this to really, really work, it needs to be personal. It needs to be meaningful. It needs to be compassionate and empathetic. It needs to touch me as a patient in a way that matters. And we need to do that across every disease, across every procedure. And I have to have a meaningful experience, whether or not it's a hysterectomy, or if it's colon cancer, or if it's the flu. And so building out content with clinical partners, I think, is paramount to our success. And I think we've been fortunate to engage with some of the top minds in the country in academics as well as large IDNs. And I would offer, if there's physicians out there that are thought leaders and want to get involved, email us and email me directly at todd@healthloop.com and help us build this mountain of content to help guide patients to outstanding outcomes every time.
Yeah, people don't even think about the back end of most businesses because there are so many categories that you've got to follow up on. I mean, it's just everything from your, the tip of your toe to the top of your head.
Well, that's right. I mean, if you think about what we're asking our doctors to do, it's almost impossible to keep track of everything that's going on that you need to know and do for your patients, on top of all the nuts and bolts to comply with regulations. And how do you get that done? And so I think that healthcare institutions understand that there is a wave of innovation that has to happen. Mm-hmm. And the question is, how do we make that happen in a way that physicians can retain their professionalism, right? They can continue to drive the conversation and be there as a trusted ally with their patients and not get sort of overwhelmed by the computer and pushed over by these information systems.
Yeah, I can see early adopters, concierge health, concierge doctors, which that's what I have. I just love the personal attention that I get. But I can see those early adopters would just be all over this. I mean, in my opinion, now correct me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, if you don't have this product where you can actually reach out and create a better rapport with your patients, they're going to move to somebody who does.
Well, that's right. And if you think about what's happening now, as more and more sort of low-cost health plans are introduced either through the federal health exchanges or the commercial health care insurers, patients are signing up for these lower-cost health plans, but really they're going to be paying more out of pocket. And consumers want a better experience. Our experience with medicine can be pretty awful. You go in, you sit, you wait, you get just a couple of minutes with the doctor. It's usually rushed, and then you're out the door. And people are going to start deciding with their pocketbooks. And I think that there's going to be leaders that will lead the industry and use technologies like HealthLoop to delight and impress their patients and operate more efficiently. And there's going to be followers who are going to lose market share. And so, people have got to think differently about how we provide health care, because the current system is just not working.
Well, it creates a rapport that says, I care. And
exactly.
People will pay more for that extra value service to physicians. They will. I mean, it just creates that bond that allows them to feel that I care. And then you have client retention.
That's right. And what's interesting, Michael, is it's obvious to see that patients are yearning for a deeper relationship, a more compassionate and empathetic relationship with their physicians. But it turns out that physicians are yearning for that as well. It's interesting when you look at job satisfaction, it's been plummeting for physicians out there, and they've been asked to do more and do more and do more with less. And the victim of that has been their relationship with their patients. And so I think there's a strong appetite on both sides of the equation here for a meaningful and compassionate relationship one that's designed around healing, not around billing.
I agree.
So I think it's a great opportunity for both parties to work better together.
No, brilliant idea, great move, Todd. We've got to come to the draw our interview to the close. Last, but certainly not least, thank you for bringing this to the market.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
My pleasure. Todd Johnson, CEO, HealthLoop, healthloop.com, and special thanks to 1-800-publicrelations.com for all their PR and media support. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to today's program. The Traders Network is a production of Yorba.tv LLC and is streamed live and archived at yorbamedia.com. We invite you to listen live, join in the conversation real time, and link to the Traders Network on the Yorba Media website. All opinions in this show are that of the presenters or their guests, and not of this station's owners or management. These opinions are for educational purposes only and should not be interpreted as investment or financial advice. All investments involve risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Tune into the Traders Network every Monday through Friday afternoon here on 1190 AM.